This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on lrodvinetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on lrodvinetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to lrodvinetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Thirsty Topics. I'm Lawrence Elrod.
And I am Meryl Climo.
Hey, Meryl, how are you?
Good. I don't know what I wanted to say I'm living large, but I got... I think that was a term in the 90s when I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm living large or not, but I'm doing very well.
Okay. That means you live large then, right?
Exactly. In a few different ways, I'm living large. Yeah. So it's good. I feel like we need to bring that back and say, like, I'm living medium or I'm living extra small or, like, just however we're feeling.
Hey, you know what? You can start a new saying, right?
Yeah, I'm living large. That's cool. I feel like in this day and age, just like buying groceries is living large.
If you're able to buy groceries, no problem. Yeah, you are living large, unfortunately.
For real. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start it off, and this is actually on a sad note. Dallas Cowboys 24-year-old defensive end Marshawn Lillian took his own life. And I know some people are thinking, what? It's true. Dallas Cowboys defensive end Marshawn Lillian, 24 years old, died by suicide earlier this month in November. Authorities confirmed that Nealon died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound on Thursday, November 6th, after a police chase in Frisco, Texas. Friends and family had contacted authorities with concerns about his well-being after he sent a goodbye text message to a group chat. Nealon, a second-year player who was a second-round pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, a beloved teammate. His family released a statement calling him kind, determined, humble, and full of love. The NFL and the Cowboys organization offer support and counseling resources to players and staff following the tragedy. This is really sad.
I know. I wonder if it's a case as well of, when people get like all the scans from just the traumatic brain injuries, and even if it's not like showing right away or showing so big in their scans, I wonder if it's just like something where a head concussion or something like that has led to it. It's a depression over time.
It could be. I know that there was talk about, maybe he was still kind of sad about his mother passing away, because he was drafted last year. I mean, so he's a rookie.
Yeah.
His mother passed away 2 months prior to him being picked in the draft. So there's rumors that, maybe that had something to do with it. But I just think that people need to understand when it comes to mental health, what you see on the outside may not be what's going on the inside.
Yeah.
Because from the outside, people thinking, hey, you're in the NFL, you're young,
yeah.
You got all these millions of dollars, you're living large, you're happy. Money doesn't buy happiness, and people need to realize that.
I know. And also, you said it was a police chase?
Yes.
Oh, so I wonder if there was like other things going involved with that, or, just, and also sometimes that saying like a temporary fix, or, like basically like a spur of the moment thought can be like, obviously like a life-ending decision, where if you're being chased by the police and you're just unsure of maybe what they're going to find on you or the consequences, and you think like, okay, how can I get out of this really quick? And you make like a very impulsive decision. But it also sounded like it was something he was thinking about, because you said that he texted his friends and family and they were worried about him.
Yeah, the text happened before the police chase. And from what I understand, his family contacted the authorities because of that text. And
Mm-hmm.
they were looking for him, for obvious reasons. And for whatever reason, he wanted to take his life. So I don't think it had anything to do with anything in his car or anything he was doing. I think this young man was dealing with some serious emotional issues that either no one saw or no one were able to help. And he felt that this was his only option, which is pretty sad.
It is. Do you think, do sports teams offer, like, is there like a sports mental health therapist like for each team?
Well, I know the NFL is really, really good about supporting their players. So
Really?
there's a whole bunch of resources, whether it be dealing with finances, whether it's dealing with emotional stress, physical. I mean, any type of assistance that you need, they have. But the key is someone needs to recognize that the assistance is needed. Because if a
Yeah.
person doesn't reach out, and they're putting on this game face like everything's fine, because he actually scored a touchdown in the football game. He actually played
Really?
a few days before he took his life. So again, look on the outside, you're thinking, wow, he's on top of the world, everything's great.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you have to pay attention when you talk to people and really listen to a person, because it's easy to ask, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. And people mostly just leave it from there. Have a little conversation, because, you know, even the slight thing of saying, hey, you know what? I love you. I'm proud of you. You're doing great things. Those little things can change someone's life and you not even know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of people go without even talking to people for like a whole week, or or even if they do, obviously this is an NFL player, so he was talking to a lot of people, but it was probably more like surface layer type conversation, or can I get a picture with you? Can I get your autograph type of stuff? But it does sound like his friends and family did the right thing by like calling right away and taking it seriously when he said that he had some, when he was saying goodbye to them. So very sad, and like it's crazy to think how young he was. Like we know because we're older, but it's like when you're in your 20s or 30s, it's like you have to remember that is so, so, so young.
And the thing too is, you know, I mean, God knows, I hope I never get a text like that from a family member or a friend. But, to me, if I got a text like that, obviously I'm going to reach out and talk to the person, because, you'd be amazed. Sometimes people reach out and we get so busy in our everyday lives that we don't notice it.
Yeah.
And we kind of go like, yeah, it's all good. Or someone will call and I'll give them a call later. Just pick up the phone, even just saying hello and hey, how you doing? What's going on? Even if they don't open up to you, just the idea that you're showing them some attention and you're showing them that you care can make the big difference in someone's life, especially if they're on a downward spin.
100%. Unless if any of my friends are listening, please don't call me because I don't want to be called. It's actually my friends calling and checking in that like drives me to a mental illness, but but yeah, on a serious note, it is so sad for this guy, and I'm sure like the whole organization. I don't understand if you're a player or a cheerleader or anyone involved with that, like a coach, how you're just able to like. I hope those players are getting bereavement and grief help, just because like that's such a big thing to have one of your teammates pass away like that, and just I'm sure like it's hard to, I imagine, go in and like play a game and get your mind right when something like that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely difficult because, you got that on the back of your mind as you get in the field.
Yeah. Well, we
Before
will.
you start your segment, I do want to make this quick note. I just want to let people know that are watching or listening. If someone is struggling with mental health challenges, emotional distress, or you're in a crisis, please, please, please reach out for help. You can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline or visit 988lifeline.org to chat with a trained counselor 24/7. So if you're struggling, please don't sit there and struggle alone. Definitely reach out because there is help out there for you.
I love that. Very good. And I think we underestimate how much we like affect other people in a good way too. So some people will feel useless, or like even if your job or relationship isn't going right, it's like the world still needs you to like, volunteer at a homeless shelter or volunteer with animals, or like it's like everyone is still very useful, even if everything is going wrong in your life, you're still useful to the greater good, you know?
I agree.
Well, I'm excited to share this next one with you, only because I feel like we may have different opinions on it. So I love this kind of stuff because I'm like, now you're a dad and a good dad, so we'll see what your take is. It went viral last week where a Mississippi man faced backlash after he admitted to stealing thousands of dollars from his son's savings account. Now, Christian, a 28-year-old postal worker from Biloxi, from Mississippi, appeared on an episode of Financial Audit, a podcast hosted by financial advisor Caleb Hammer, in which a weekly guest gets grilled on their personal finances. I've seen it a lot of times on TikTok. The people that go on it are brave because they'll be like, yeah, my car payment is $1,200 a month. I don't know if that's good or bad. And like, of course, it's kind of clickbait because all of us are like, what the heck are you doing? Or they'll say like, I spend $800 a week getting my nails done, but like I have no money and I'm filing bankruptcy or whatever. So on this episode, Christian admitted that he paid for a number of family trips on credit cards, but then he decided he didn't want to pay the high interest loans. And then he borrowed from his 4-year-old son's savings account, which contained about $8,000 to $10,000 to pay off the credit cards immediately. A portion of the money had come from friends and family who had given the money for the child's future, maybe like a college fund or something like that. And the thing that gets me in this article, I was like, okay, I could see all of this until he didn't tell his wife, and he didn't ask for permission before with his wife. And so then also, since then, he's even garnered more debt too. So like, it wasn't like he just paid it off and then now he's free and clear and he's starting to like put money back in the account. It's like, okay, I did that. Now I'm starting to like inch my way to getting even more debt. So I feel like, would you do that in the first place? Or like if you had high credit card debt, but you knew you had $10,000 somewhere, would you borrow from it? Or would you just say that's like so off limits?
That's so off limits.
Really?
So off limits. It really is. The only time you should even think about doing that, unfortunately, there are some families that struggle really bad financially where, it's a matter of being able to pay bills or put food on the table.
Yeah.
And you have to borrow from there. Again, it's not an ideal situation, but I can see that situation. Just to pay off credit card debt, that's not a reason.
I know.
That's not the reason. And then on top of that, you pay off the credit card debt and then get more debt. And
exactly.
Obviously, it sounds like they're not really struggling financially. So it sounds more like money mismanagement. And to sit there and take your child's money, and you don't even talk to the wife about it or anything, that is kind of suspect. That really is.
Oh, and this next part is going to get you too. We should also note that the wife just joined the military in hopes of like helping the family pay off their $90,000 in debt. So here you have the wife working and signing up for the military to try to like do her part and sign up and pay off the debt. And then the father's solution to it all is just to go into the kid's account.
Don't get mad when I ask this question, but why didn't he sign up for the military instead of the wife?
I know.
Maybe I'm wrong,
Exactly. And I am not like by any means a financial like auditor or whatever, but I do think at certain points like this, sometimes there is like, this is where I would go to like a credit repair union or some type of even like, I mean, it's like so like, big to do, but you could also maybe like sign up for bankruptcy. And like, I know that totally tanks your debt and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like in a situation where you have $90,000 of debt, like it's not the worst idea. And like after 7 years, by the time your kid is older, you'll be able to rebuild from there. But I just think like there's other options basically. Like you could try to pay down your credit card getting into like a program, or it just seems like more options should have been explored rather than taking this money. Now, I thought at first it was like, okay, I'm just going to take this money, pay off the credit card debt, and then like slowly make payments again to replenish the account. And within like 3 years, he'll never know. But it doesn't sound like that's the case. It sounds like he just grabbed from it.
And I guess there's a lot missing to the story as to why did they get so far in debt.
Yeah, it sounds like the dad is totally
Was
like
it a
going to
situation
Disneyland.
where people wasn't working? Was it a situation where there was some medical bills? So it's kind of really hard to justify or not justify what he did without really knowing the whole backstory.
Yeah, it said that he admitted to paying for a number of family trips to places like Disney World in the Bahamas on credit card.
Okay, I tried to give him some leeway, but that didn't work.
Exactly. And like, I mean, another option if you're going to go down this route too is you could always look into credit cards that do have like a 12-month no interest rate, and like go to the Bahamas, that's fine, like, but do that and then spend the rest of the year paying that off of your credit card, in those 12 months. So it's like you can definitely be financially non-responsible in like a better way, but this is just crazy. Like $90,000 of debt of like Disney and Bahamas is definitely a little much.
Yeah, it's beyond much. I mean, it's
Yeah.
one when again you got to pay bills and you don't have any money coming in, but to take exotic trips and stuff like that, and I'm guessing that's probably not the only two trips that they've taken.
Yeah.
Um, that's really a bad look. That's not what
I
you should.
know. And imagine if you're a friend or a family member and you've given like $300 at a kid's birthday party, like with the idea of like, okay, this is going to be a little nest egg for the kid, and maybe he'll invest it, and by the time he's like 17, it will be $3,000 or something. So
Mhm.
like I would not be happy knowing that my money is going towards like a snack at Disneyland.
Oh, absolutely not. So yeah, but I'm a true believer that what goes around comes around, and when you do stuff like this, it comes back threefold in a bad way.
Yeah.
Well, talk about coming back. Um, as of the shutdown that's going on, I know right now they're talking about a possible resolution to it, but until people start signing paperwork, you know, I take it with a grain of salt. But as of right now, flights are being reduced by 10% because of the government shutdown. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, is reducing flights by up to 10% at 40 major U.S. airports due to a government shutdown. This is a safety measure to reduce pressure on air traffic controllers who are working without pay and experiencing staffing shortages and fatigue. The reductions are being phased in, and they will likely cause significant disruptions, including delays and cancellation, especially as the Thanksgiving holiday approaches.
Wow. As if it can't get more crazy with just all of the flying and the delays and the turbulence and the cost of everything. It's like, yeah, it's just crazy.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on LRODTVNetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss in your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on LRODTVNetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to LRODTVNetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.
It really is. And, a lot of people are getting angry at some of the air traffic controllers for not showing up to work. But here's the thing about it. how motivated would you be going to work? Now we're looking at what, about a month and a half now with no pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's say you're a family, you have a family that you're taking care of, or let's say you're a single parent and you have to pay for childcare and you have no money coming in. It's really kind of hard to be motivated to come into work. Just saying.
Absolutely. Anyone that's mad at the air traffic controllers, I really think it's like your passion can be used in a different way. Like
Mhm.
I get it. Of course, we're going to be upset with them or just the airlines in general, but
Yep.
like, and they're working on crazy hours. I feel like a lot of them are just struggling to stay awake. Like, the conditions are horrible. And I saw on TikTok, some people say like, well, why can't they just get different jobs? Like why are they even air traffic controllers? I'm like, not everyone can change their whole career in like a month and right before the holidays. So I'm not mad at them either. It's like if this was going on for 4 years, then yes, maybe they could consider a different career or like pivot. But I think asking someone to change their whole job and find a whole new job in 3 weeks in this like economy is a little cray cray.
It is. And also, too, it's really not a smart comment to make because the last thing you want is air traffic controllers quitting.
I
The
know.
thing is, prior to the shutdown, there was already a national shortage of air traffic controllers.
Yeah,
So encouraging them to quit would be stupid because now you're going to make it catastrophic at that point. And
exactly.
from what I heard, that it takes anywhere from 1 to 2 years, I believe, to get through the training, schooling, everything to be an air traffic controller. So this isn't something that even if they had people that they wanted to bring on, will be fixed overnight. That's
I
just a
know.
fact.
I can't wait, or I can wait, but I feel like what if soon like Waymo is going to try to put in the air traffic controllers? We know how Waymo does too. Then planes will just be like doing backflips in the air.
That would scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, right. Last week we talked about how like the dangers of Waymo. I feel like it would just be crazy. But yeah, hopefully this will blow over soon. But in the meantime, I've been seeing so many like pilots making announcements, just soothing the passengers and saying it's going to be okay. Because I also feel like the news is not helping by sharing every week a different close call or like a plane's wing may clip the tail of another plane's wing, and it just seems like the Wild West.
Yeah, I agree with you, Meryl, but here's the problem. Everyone has cameras on their phones. So they kind of have to report on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like I said, this is just insane. It's really insane. So I would say buckle up for the bumpy ride ahead.
Exactly. If anyone wants some good reading, I'm part of I think I mentioned it before, but the Fear of Flying Reddit page. And so, because I used to go on it because it's the sweetest group of people. And basically, like, I used to be so scared on planes. And you put your flight number in, and people would like track you when you're in the air. And I would be writing, like, I'm having a panic attack. And people would be writing, like, okay, you're going over Montana. You're doing great. And it was the sweetest group. But now, every day, someone's posting, like, I'm about to get off the plane. I'm going to take the train instead. And like, but it's really cute because there's pilots in the group too. So it does give a lot of insight on like what's happening now. And just, I give so much credit to pilots for like not only having the knowledge they have, but to making us, the common people, feel safe during this time. And like, they're trying to undo everything and work in these conditions. And like, I really think pilots are like heroes. I really, really do. So, and the air traffic controller people aren't that far off to me. It's a really important job. And so I hope they get back to work soon. But yeah, like if you're mad at them, imagine someone asking you to work 2 weeks or 3 weeks without any pay and like terrible conditions.
I agree. I agree 100% on that.
If you see me posting in the Fear of Flying page, keep your own business. Keep it to yourself. One time I was on a plane and the man was like, "What is going on?" But well, that's crazy. Next up, this is so funny. So I didn't even know who this was. I had to look it up to be honest. But People has named their sexiest man alive in 2025, and it is actor Jonathan Bailey, who I did not really know. He's English. He's 37, and apparently they say he's brimming with charm and wit and handsome looks. Now, in the past, I've kind of had some weird thoughts about some of their like man of the year, sexiest man alive, but they usually pick like, kind of the it person. And he became really popular in Bridgerton, the Netflix series. And then he's the prince in Wicked, and he was really cute in that. So I feel like also I feel like this is definitely just good publicity for the next version of Wicked. So it's just someone's publicist doing a really good job. But I don't know. How do you feel? Do you, as a man, are you jealous of him, or do you think he is one of the sexiest men alive?
Well, um, I don't know if he's the sexiest man alive. I think I'm the sexiest man alive, but that's just my opinion.
Your wife agrees.
But there's so many of these different things out there. Hey, you know what? If he's got that title, I say embrace it.
Uh-huh. I think so too, and I get it's one of those things that I feel like beauty and the attractiveness is definitely a lot of times in the eye of the beholder. Like there's certain people that were just like, okay, like Margot Robbie or something is just pretty much like we can all agree that she is an attractive human, and like I think when Brad Pitt was voted that, it's like, okay, this is like an attractive man. I don't know about sexiest man alive, but um I think he takes it in good stride, and this seems like someone I've seen interviews with him, and I think it has not gotten to his head. I think he thinks it's very silly, and in the interview they asked, "Have you told anyone about this?" And he said he like told his dog, who just looked at him, and like the dog doesn't care. So I think that's cute.
Hey, he's taking it in his stride. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is interesting. I didn't know about Jonathan Bailey, but I'm very happy for him, and he seems really funny and nice.
Well, at least he's not arrogant about it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, he seems very silly. And they asked him like what his favorite thing to do at a party is, and he said leave. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. And just a really quick rundown before some of the former sexiest men alive: Patrick Dempsey, Matthew McConaughey, of course, Blake Shelton, John Legend, and Channing Tatum are just a few.
Nice list.
Yep, pretty good list. Oh, Ryan Reynolds. Sorry, I'm revoking that one. I don't think so. Eh, sorry. I'm sorry for everyone that loves Ryan Reynolds, but I'm closing the issue on that one.
Well, my last topic for this episode is that Mexico's president is pressing charges after being groped in public.
What?
Oh, yes. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, is pressing charges against a man who groped her in public in Mexico City on Tuesday, November 4th. Sheinbaum, Mexico's first female president, was walking between the National Palace and the education industry when a man approached her from behind and put his arm around her, touched her chest, and attempted to kiss her before a staff member intervened. The man, who was reportedly inebriated, has been arrested. Sheinbaum, Sheinbaum announced she was pressing charges not only for herself, but on behalf of all Mexican women who experience daily harassment, stating if this happens to the president, what becomes of the Mexican women? She is also calling for a review of laws to make sexual harassment a criminal offense in all Mexican states and has launched a nationwide campaign to raise awareness and defend the integrity of women. The president has dismissed suggestions to increase her security detail, emphasizing the need to stay close to the people. There's a lot
Wow.
right there.
That's so funny that in the US it's like our political leaders that are doing the weird harassing. And so yeah, I mean that's so cool. We were in Mexico once when she was like had a rally for her. So I actually got to see her talk in person, which is really cool. We were in Puerto Vallarta and we had no clue that it was, or Ensenada, and we had no clue that anything was happening. We walked right up and then she was giving her speech right before she got elected. And I'm like, that's super cool. I got to see like a
Wow.
president talk. So she seems so intelligent and great. Of course, this should happen to no women whatsoever, but I love that she like took it seriously right away and was like, nope, we're changing this, and not saying like I have feelings about this, but it's like, okay, we're gonna put into real laws consequences so that this doesn't happen as often.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the laws in Mexico are different than the United States when it comes to sexual
Yeah.
harassment, but I disagree with her as far as the detail, because here's the reality. In the United States, she's basically the equivalent of the president here of the United States in her country.
Yeah.
You cannot get that close to the leader of a country.
No.
I mean, to have this guy be able to get up close to her, get behind her, and then grope her and try to kiss her.
I know. Ew, gosh,
How
that's
does
so
that even
gross.
happen for someone that's that status? I think she's
Ugh.
wrong. She needs to up her detail because that guy should have never gotten that close. I mean, you try and get close to the president of the United States, yeah, you're probably going to be leaving in a bag. You try
I
something like that.
know. Yeah, for real. And you would think the security detail right away, like, would just toss him or, like arrest him or whatever.
My thing is, what was the detail? Because again, how was he able to get that close to her?
I know. I don't know. That's weird. And it's also there's so many people that are so delusional too, where it's like, okay, they think they have a right to you, or sometimes people think they know someone, or like the fact that he went up and kissed her is like that must be really spooky and gross. And like, I think of Obama as someone that like really is with the people, and I'm sure of course he has like great detail, but I feel like he during his like term and especially now too, like I've seen him in crowds or like he doesn't seem to be very far away a lot. He seems to like, be reachable, but maybe that's just like an optical illusion and he's less like of course no one would go up to him like that, but I don't know. I feel like I see him like high-fiving people a lot.
He does, but the one thing to keep in mind, and most people don't pay attention, but you always see one or two Secret Service right next to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are the ones that you see. Because there's also ones
Exactly.
that, I kind of like watching documentaries and stuff like this. And,
Hmm.
so basically I saw this episode about the Secret Service. And a lot of times there's one or two that they purposely want you to see. And there's a large number of them around that person that you don't see. They literally blend in the crowd.
Exactly. But it's funny, I love watching videos when they try to just when those men try to act normal and they're wearing like everyday sneakers because usually they're so buff anyway. And it's like, okay, you even on a plane sometimes if there's like a undercover cop or something, it's like they try to look and blend in, but they're like bursting out of their blazer and they have like really nice shoes on. And it's like, okay, you don't look like the rest of us like heading to Walmart. So uh and a lot of times they have like snipers up at the top, like so it's like they're positioned in all different places. And who knows, like a Secret Service person might have thought that the guy was going in to like knife her or something. You don't know if he's going to kiss her or like stab her or whatever. So it's really freaky. And I think there should be much more of a punishment just like in our society if you're harassing someone. But then it gets tricky because then it's like, if you start like arresting people, like what if someone says they were harassed and they really weren't? I don't know. I feel like it's a slippery slope, but if there's like
It all
proof,
depends because, you know, in this country, if you call someone and say you're going to do something to the president, you're going to get some visitors at your door really, really
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
In
true.
fact, there was a story about a gentleman in the suburbs here in Illinois. I don't know what was he drinking, but he did that. And yeah, he was visited by law enforcement,
Really?
both federal and local. Yes.
Yeah, that's why in my text they always say like FBI. If you're reading this, I'm just kidding. Wow. Well, that's interesting. So we'll see about that. But very interesting, and I'm glad she's standing up for herself. And also, that's so cool that I don't know what people think of her. I actually don't really know, but I think that's so cool that a country has a woman president.
Yeah, it's long overdue.
Yep, maybe one day in the U.S. in 2091. Well, who might get to see this one day, a woman be president, is Tom Brady's clone dog, because he'll be around for long enough, or maybe like the fifth iteration of it. So on last week, Tom Brady casually dropped the bombshell that his new dog Junie is a clone of the family's former pit mix Lua, who died in December 2023. So the cloning was carried out by a company called Colossal Biosciences, which very much sounds like a Tom Cruise kind of movie. So they used a blood sample taken from Lua when she was still alive, and then then you have a dog. Pretty much, they use the technology, and they're able to clone it. And obviously, like it's not Lua, it's not the original dog. It's pretty much they take the biomarkers and put that in, and the dog has like a lot of the same DNA and a lot of the same makeup. But like, I think our version, we're thinking very sci-fi in the way where we think it's like an exact replica, but really the technology is just using some of its biomarkers and genetic material.
Yeah, I know that a lot of animal activists really got angry at him for doing that because they felt that with all the dogs that's in shelters, he could have done
Yeah,
something with the dog and this and that.
that's true.
And I get it, but I don't think they should really worry about people following this trend. Um, at $50,000 a crack to do this, yeah, it's not going to be a whole lot of people doing this. So I don't think you have anything to worry about.
I know, me too. I have such like thoughts on this topic because like I love my dogs, and I feel like my dogs were like my family, and I had one that passed away like a few years ago, and it's like so weird because part of me, of course, would love to have like a lineage of dogs that even has like a tenth of a percent of the OG dog that I love so much, but then it's like at some point you just have to go through the pain of like that dog passed away. Now I'm ready for like a whole new dog experience, and you're right. Like I got that dog from a rescue, and it's like I would have never known about that dog if I was just trying to recreate like 5 dogs ago. So it's really interesting. I wish we could almost do both and like somehow like put it into a dog that's already in like a rescue, and you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know they're doing DNA to try and bring back extinct animals and stuff like this. I really hope they kind of put that effort more towards organs,
Yeah,
because I think if they were able to clone organs, it will save a lot of people's lives that are on the waiting list for so many years for an organ transplant, based on their conditions. So,
exactly.
hopeful
Yeah, remember
situation.
they were like the wolf, the dire wolf. We
Yes,
cloned it.
yes.
Yeah. And they were like, no, we didn't clone a dire wolf. We're able to like take a little bit of its DNA and like figure out what it is and stuff.
And actually, that wasn't even a pure dire wolf because it was the DNA of a dire wolf and another species.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a quote unquote pure dire wolf either.
Yeah. But that's part of the human experience of just like unfortunately losing animals and people that we love. And it's like you can try to, I mean, it doesn't help it. You could try to clone them and still have like a piece of them alive, but it's not the same like essence of someone or something, I think.
Yeah, it kind of brings you really, really close to the ethical line. Because I'm quite sure someone has thought about trying to do this, and hopefully they
Yeah,
don't, about cloning a human being, you know?
I know. If anything, it would be amazing to have it like if my dog wasn't neutered at the time, like to if I was to like have puppies, his puppies and stuff, and that
Mhm.
would be so cool to like be like, okay, like his great grandfather was like the dog love of my life, and now I have like this lineage
Mhm.
of dogs that I don't sell, but you just have as like your own family. But yeah, it's tricky. I feel like normally I'd be like, ew, this is disgusting, but I feel like dogs specifically I love so much that I'm like I understand the feeling of wanting to like hold on to them forever.
That's true. That's true. But again, I think that technology, if used correctly, does benefit mankind. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. Was that my last one for today?
That was your last one.
Oh my gosh, that flew by.
Yes, it did. Well, Meryl, tell us, what do you have coming?
Yay. Okay, you'll never have to hear about it again after this week, but I'm going to promote my show at the La Jolla Comedy Store by the time you're at La Jolla Comedy Store, and it's with Tom Arnold, and I'm the host.
Nice, nice. And what date is that again?
Well, I'm realizing that it's actually, I think it might have passed by the time it comes out. If this comes, it comes out on Wednesday. So, or my show is on Wednesday. So if you've missed it completely, then I'm just going to tell you that it was a really good show. I'm going to use this time to promote the show that already happened. That it was so good, I'd want to clone it.
Well, we'll have it out there beforehand, so people will
Okay,
hear.
cool. Okay, good.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching us and listening to us. We had a great time, great conversations. Don't forget to go to our social media. Give us some ideas of some topics that maybe you want us to discuss, maybe some show ideas, or maybe even your reactions to some of the topics that we had on our show today.
Yeah, I want to know if they would take money from their kids' savings account.
That would be a really good subject to know. Well, everyone, I'm Lawrence Elrod.
I'm Meryl Climo.
Take care, everyone.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
This documentary about overcoming life's darkest moments isn't on Netflix, and that's exactly why you need to watch it. Look, I've been through my share of tough times, and I'm tired of watching feel-good fluff that barely scratches the surface. My Silver Lining documentary on elrodthenetwork.com is different. It's raw, real, and completely transformative. This isn't some glossy production designed to make you feel better for 30 minutes. It digs deep into what it actually takes to turn your pain into purpose. The storytelling is so powerful that mainstream platforms wouldn't touch it. But that's their loss and your gain. You get exclusive access to stories that will genuinely shift your perspective on adversity. I watched it 3 times because each viewing revealed something new about resilience. The convenience of streaming it on elrodthenetwork.com means you can pause, rewind, and really absorb these life-changing insights. Don't settle for surface-level inspiration when you can access something that actually moves the needle. Head to elrodthenetwork.com right now and discover the documentary everyone's missing.